What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today we're going to talk about train dreams. Have you been having them? Because then you might like trains. I have not been having train dreams. I'm not a train fanatic, but I do like this movie. It's Netflix has picked it up. They picked it up out of Sundance, where it premiered. It's getting some awards buzz, and I was given a advance look at it, not as advanced as if I had gone to Sundance to see it, but before it drops on Netflix, in between its theatrical wit anyway. So uh, we've got Joel Edgerton is starring here and supporting him. I mean, he's far and away, he's in like every scene of this movie. Felicity Jones, William H. Macy, Clifton Collins Jr., and Carrie Condon are sort of supporting in this film. So we also have Will Patton, who often we don't talk a lot about the in-film narration, but man, that is just chef's kiss on the casting there. I thought Will Patton did an excellent job narrating this. I was like, is that Will Patton? Oh my God. And he's like the whole way through, and he sounds just like the right dude for this movie. Like, once you really sort of absorb what Train Dreams is, I mean, he sounds like the perfect person to have narrated Train Dreams. So, it's got audio description, International Digital Center, written by Liz Gutman and narrated by Jamie Lemchek. They're like a power duo. I generally like their stuff. Liz's writing is fantastic. There's a reference of snot here that I was like, but that's so great. But and Jamie's voice is really accessible for like right in the middle for like a wide range of sort of like dramas into comedy into some action. She has a pretty usable voice across genres, and it works really nicely here. There's the appropriate amount of reverence given to what it is that we're seeing. So what is Train Dreams? It's a little bit of a meditative drama. Someone else that I know compared it to Tree of Life. This one has a little bit more of a cohesive feel to it than sort of what Tree of Life was going for, with a little bit more of existentialism. Although there is, I would say, Train Dreams, one of the thoughts is, what is our significance? Are we insignificant in our own lives? Do we have any say in sort of the things that happen to us or around us? Are we just, the choices that we make, are they made for us? Does the world still have something set out for us no matter what? And are we going to be haunted by decisions we made or didn't make? So, which sounds kind of like every single movie ever, except for this one takes it very literally and really just hones in on that as an idea. So, Edgerton plays a man who is living out west. I believe it's in the Pacific Northwest to begin with. And he grows up from a kid who, didn't know who his parents were, to a man who, becomes sort of like a laborer, working on projects and working with the railroad system. That's sort of the Train Dreams of it all, is that. And he sees, this is back when we were bringing in workers from China, or workers from China were being brought in. And of course, Americans do what Americans do. And xenophobia immediately triggers. And we start getting super racist towards the Chinese folk. And he sees one scene when he's a younger kid and doesn't understand why there's just such random acts of violence happening upon Chinese people that nobody stops. It's just happening. And then later on, as an adult, when he's working on a job, his crew just, I guess there was a Chinese man there working on the railroad, and all of a sudden, just a random act of violence for no reason. He never finds out why. Nobody ever tells him why. There's like another guy that's like, I don't know. Like, they're just, I don't know why this is happening. It just happens, you know? No clarity. And he tries to kind of step in and do the right thing and to stop it, but he can't. It's just, it's already gotten away from him. And this thing kind of haunts him for the rest of his life. Throughout the rest of the movie, he's going to kind of see, it's not a ghost story per se in the way that you would think of a traditional horror movie, but he will see the ghost of the dead Chinaman from this, hate crime that happens in the movie. And he never really finds out why. Like, that's the thing. Nobody does. We don't know why this happens. It just happened, and he's haunted by it. It will. There isn't some great mystery. That's not what the movie's about, where he like spends the rest of the movie going like, but why? Why are we racist? What is the deeper meaning behind this? So, eventually he's gonna meet and fall in love. He'll have a wife, and they'll build a cabin in the woods, and they'll have a little girl, and he's going to go off and work in the timber industry, felling trees. So where we pick up William H. Macy. Felicity Jones is his wife, I believe. Is it Felicity or Carrie? Now I'm getting them mixed up. I believe Felicity is the wife. She's second billing, and the wife has way more screen time than the other female character. So we're just going to go with that. So there's also a mention about his wife's teeth that generally lines up with Felicity Jones and not Carrie Condon. So, in the audio description, so Felicity plays the wife, and he's off a lot in the forest with these men who tear down trees. William H. Macy has quite a little bit of time here as like one of the old timers who's been doing this a lot. He's got some songs, some stories to tell. He's got little quotable phrases. It's kind of a cute role. I've seen him floated as a potential surprise Best Supporting Actor nominee. That would be if somebody really loved Train Dreams. That's for a voting body that just absolutely loved Train Dreams, because at that point you could nominate anybody from this cast other than just Joel Edgerton. But it's a good performance. I don't know that it's enough, but I did like it. We just kind of keep moving through time. Like, he's gonna keep aging. I don't want to spoil the movie, so I'm dancing lightly. Carrie Condon is gonna be someone who he helps, who shows up, and he has to help her. She's there to survey land. She's a land surveyor, and so he helps set her up at one point in the movie. Clifton Collins Jr. plays this friend that he sort of helps him out at one point in the film too. So they kind of float through life, and he's gonna, we're gonna see him sort of go through his whole life, like from child to old man. And once we get to Joel Edgerton does the whole thing from young man to old dude. So to old dude watching, television and seeing some stuff that's happening on there. So it's based on a novella, and it is kind of meditative, and there are things that happen throughout the film where it feels like he has no control over his life, or things that happen to him, or things that happen to people around him. And despite the fact that he tries to control situations, he often ends up wondering if things are real, if he really experienced something, did that really happen? But it's not like full on madness. Like, he's not going crazy. It's a very interesting way that the film is shaped, because it's just a man's experience through life and the way the story is told. I think this film is not going to be for everybody. Some people are going to find it to be too artsy, too indie, whatever your usual. It's not made with the bombastic charm of like a Yellowstone, but it's got like Yellowstone vibes. Like if Yellowstone went to Sundance, I don't know, it would be kind of have to take a little bit of a different approach to mix in with everything else. So, uh, yeah, I think I think there'll be a lot of people that find this charming. I found it charming. I really liked the movie. I didn't have a problem with the story. I didn't think it was so uh, full of itself that it just lost the train of thought, which sometimes these films can do. They can get so existential that they are in crisis. Instead of just being about an existential crisis, it's like, no, you are existential and you are in a crisis as a film. You have lost the thread. I think Train Dreams never loses its thread. It never pushes too far off of the main themes and ideas that run through the film, and it never feels incoherent. It always feels like something that somebody really could follow. In an age where we have TikTok exploding, I wonder how many people have the patience for a film like this. There are people who didn't like The Brutalist, and while this is not the same structure as that, uh, if you couldn't have the patience for The Brutalist, you're not going to be able to have the patience for Train Dreams. Like, if slow, um, American history type dramas are not your thing, if period dramas are now starting to lose your attention span, and you've lost the ability to sit down for, this is like an hour and 40 minutes, by the way. If you've lost the ability to do that, then I don't know. Have fun on TikTok, I guess. I don't know. But so um, I thought the score was beautiful. It could be one of the best scores of the year. I don't think it's the best score of the year, but it could be. If Train Dreams got a best score nomination, I wouldn't be at all surprised by it. I don't know where else this is gonna end up. I guess it could be an adapted screenplay, because it is adapted from something. I don't know that it feels kind of simple to break into the director race this year. This feels like it's too big. Joel Edgerton's performance is solid as shit, and he's been in a lot of things. He could be a dark horse, but I wouldn't strike out and just predict him cold for this. It's it's not necessarily a bombastic role. It's not as showy as you would think it is, because most of the time he's just being a dude. Like, he's just doing like regular things. So his role does have some range within it, but it's not a very rangy role the whole time. It's not a role with a great profound amount of growth. Um, and he certainly has had more dynamic roles before. So, but he is very good in this role, and he has never been nominated. So, I would consider him a strong dark horse for the best actor race after having seen this. And I would consider Train Dreams to be a strong dark horse for best picture. I don't think it's definitely not a top 5. But if you're looking at spots 9 and 10, you're like, I don't know what to do with this race. Train Dreams might be the answer to your question, because it's not really like anything else that's happening in this race. And so the people who like Train Dreams and who love Train Dreams and who like this type of film will end up voting for Train Dreams. So it could have its own little special cohort full of people who will absolutely go nuts for this movie. For me, I don't know if it's in my top 10. I'm getting to the point of the year where it's like I've seen a lot of things that I've liked, and I still have things left to see that I could like. So it's hard to commit to anything. I would say this has potential to be top 10 or top 25. Um, but it's not currently my number one. So it's not so high where I'm like, yes, this is definitely going to be in there, because I'm not going to see 25 more movies between now and the end of the year. So, but I did like it very much, and I think the audio description is excellent and exceptional. And all of those things. I'm even kind of amazed that it is as short as it is, because for the people who would normally complain about length and for runtime and for the feel and say that it lags, I'm like, it's an hour and 40 minutes. it's like maybe an hour 43 or something like that, but it's definitely not a long movie. So I don't think it's not that it's not, there isn't a pacing problem here. It's just some movies are meant to be slow. Like, that is just the way that the movie moves. This movie is meant to sort of, they're out in the middle of nowhere. It's not a fast-paced life. He doesn't live in a city. He's not constantly fighting off. It's not like The Revenant where he's fighting off like bears all the time, right? There isn't really much more you can do to speed up this drama. So when you think about the events that happen as they happen and the advancement of the story, it isn't that there's no pacing error here. Everything is paced and edited really, really well. It's just, are people willing to have the patience for a film that isn't flashy and isn't showy and doesn't have explosions and people punching and kicking and, you know, I don't know. And Joel Edgerton doesn't have a lot of big like moments where he just screams, and neither does Felicity or Carrie or William H. Macy. Nobody really does. They're just people living their life, man. The movie. So, yeah, I Train Dreams. I'm going to give it an 8.7 out of 10. So we'll see what happens at the end of the year where this lands on my list. But I did like it. So I think a lot of people will, but I think some people won't. And so let it be your choice. Like, see whether or not you like Train Dreams. I fully acknowledge, I see this film and I go, this is not for everybody. This is for some people, and for those people, they'll love it. And for some people, they'll start watching it, and 10 to 15 minutes in, they're going to Kool-Aid man their way out of the room and go find Fortnite. So, yeah. That's what I got for you today. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I will see you guys on the other side.